Well, hello, hi everyone. Today we are starting some talks, and our talk is about young talent to 230. So I would like to say that today we are talking about skills. We are discussing skills, and we should motivate and help institutions regarding the future of our children and of our young colleagues. So, in fact, the whole society is involved, not only the children and youth, but I should say the whole society, because we already know that the next generation will have to change work 3 times, at least 3 times. And moreover, we, our generation, we must continue learning in a long life learning perspective. So it's not skills, it's not only about the next generation, it's also about us and how we perceive work and being capable to work. So I would say some words about our participants. Thank you all. Thank you, Planetiers World Gathering, for the receivers. Professor Maria José Sousa, she has a degree in management, and she is a professor at university, specialist in digital learning and digital skills. And she is also a preeminent author with a recognized scientific production. Professor Sandeep Singh comes from India, a degree in biology, and he is a neuroscientist, a reputed scientist, and founder of IZET Foundation. And he is also a preeminent author with a recognized scientific production. Doutora Sandra Martinho has a degree in law, and she is most fortunate because she is the Director of Education and Philanthropy at Microsoft Portugal. Débora Campos has just finished her PhD in biotechnology, skills. So it's really about skills. And she is the CEO and the founder of Agro Green Tech. She will explain us all what it means. And finally, Mrs. Chinenye Oragwu, I think I spelled it correctly. She comes from Nigeria, Africa. Thank you for coming with us. And she has a degree in law with a vast reputation in law practice and with very, very particular projects on leadership. I shall not tell them. I'll let you tell all about it, okay? So we could start with a basic question. What are the skills with most reputation nowadays for every generation? Because we have to look at the work as in a long life perspective and in a long life learning paradigm. Professora Maria José Sousa, could you please share what you would like to say?
Hello. I have been studying skills and competencies for a while. I think 20 years, it is a long way till today. And what I know is that today we are living in a fast world and the competencies are changing so much. It is really difficult to identify the main competencies that are needed for the moment, because something happens in the world and all the needs for competencies are changing. Today, because of COVID, we faced real situations, difficult situations, and all the people in the world had to change their mindsets, and also the ability to learn and the ability to do the things in a different way, and learning new competencies. Today we are in a digital world. Everybody is in a digital world. And there are no presential events, so we had to learn how to use several platforms like this one, and how to communicate better in a digital way. This is really fast communication. So we needed also new competencies in communication, not only how to use the technology, but also how to communicate better with that technology. And of course, we need competencies on changing. Not only organizations are changing their models of work and also using more technology, but also we need to adapt to new models and work models, for instance. And the youngest, of course, they also need to change their competencies and to learn how to deal with this new world. So it is really difficult for everybody because several years ago, the competencies were not changing so fast, and we don't need it to adapt also so fast. And today, from several weeks to the present day, several weeks since the COVID began, the huge situation in March, and in few weeks we needed to change our mindset, our learning process. So it was really difficult, and the main ways of changing and to learning was based on our own will and our motivation, because we didn't have time to get those competencies from formal courses. We needed to learn by ourselves, and also the youngest learned a lot because they passed from face-to-face education to online learning. And of course it is more difficult because they are alone at home. They don't have the teacher in the classroom, they don't have the colleagues, and the learning process is harder, it's much more difficult. So what are the main competencies for today? I think learning how to change and to adapt to change is a huge competence. And I think we human beings have that competence. It is an innate competence. So I think these are the main ideas for now that I want.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I would ask now I would address to Professor Sandeep Singh, and what do you think about skills, competencies? What do you think? You are in India. The situation is highly, well, it's very differentiated in your country, as in my country, in Portugal. Not everybody has the same access to technology, to internet, to computers. So what do you think about this?
Okay, thank you very much, Mónica, for inviting me in such a Planetiers Gathering. So I would like to thank all the panelists, and especially Mónica, who have invited me to discuss like some important issues on the neuroeducation, like how education is important for the children, for the young students, for the older students. So basically education is not having any boundary. It's for everyone, like for the students, for the younger ones, for the researcher, for the scientists. So, but that is up to the different level. So as my foundation is also working in the field of science and technology promotion in India. So first of all, I'd like to tell something about the ICET Foundation and what ICET Foundation is doing in the field of science and technology, how it is involved in the promoting the education system in India. So
Yes.
I would like to tell something about the foundation. So the Indian Scientific Education and Technology Foundation is basically an India-based NGO, and it has been established in the December 2016. And luckily, I'm the founder of that this foundation. And my foundation is basically working in the rural part of India and suburban part of India to promote the scientific education, basically in the poor students who is not having a lot of facility to go to the modern schools and to use the facilities for the training and all this. So my foundation is used to organize the workshops and the seminars in the schools in the rural part of India. And this office of this foundation is in Lucknow, which is in Uttar Pradesh state of the India. So we have been focused to work in the multi areas like sustainable agricultural development, enhanced skill and knowledge of basic and applied sciences, awareness of the science and literacy, maintenance, personal hygiene and sanitation, awareness of the healthy lifestyle, and awareness for family planning, etc. So the community meetings, farmer community meetings, organizing the small seminars and workshops, and science exhibition in the schools, especially for the kids and school students. So our mission is to basically promote the science and technology in the rural part of India, and especially for the children, who is the any I mean building block of any country or any the young generation or children. So if they are going to get a good skill or good education, then we can make a good society and we can educate more and more. So especially as per the UGC data in India, about 20 million students got enrolled in various courses annually, and 19% of them is only opt for the science subjects. And apart from that, very few got success. So the science subjects rate option is very less in comparison to the other subjects, because it's science include theoretical and practical both the knowledge. So our NGO is trying to bridge that gap between the theoretical and practical knowledge. So sometimes we used to go to school and organize scientific practical workshop for the students to show how this thing is happening practically and how this thing is happening. So we used to promote the science-based agriculture and equip the healthcare center, provide free digital libraries, because this is modern era and this is a digital era, you can say. So we must need to adopt the digital education based system instead of hard things and all. So we are trying also to develop some sort of library, e-library for the students. So I would like to quickly tell for my future plan in a couple of points that in what way we are trying to improve the education system in India. We are trying to provide the e-library facility on our website for all the students and school that can read free of the cost all the downloaded material, and we can provide a free of cost books, scientific books, which is very difficult to get in the schools, basically in the rural areas, because that students are unable to get the school these books. And we are trying to provide them sort of facilities, like if not provide the single mobile to each and every student, we can get a projector or sort of thing in one school. So we are also trying to expose on that area. And for farmers, because farmers also are very important backbone of any country, because they are the main producers. So we are trying to train the farmers for the for agricultural hybrid seeds formation, tissue culture, sustainable agriculture, and organic farming. And hygienic part, on the base of hygienic part, we are trying to organize some health camp in the rural part of India and trying to improve the hygienics, especially for the adolescents and the women who is very less educated, and they are just try to ignore go to the hospitals and daily checkups, and also we are trying to organize such types of camp which can routine diagnostic facility for the camp.
Okay.
And for I think I crossed my time
Thank you
limit.
very much.
Yeah.
Now we must go on.
Thank you.
We
Yeah.
will have another moment to talk about
Okay.
ISET Foundation. Okay.
Thank
But
you.
now I would invite Mrs. Sandra Martinho to share what is your vision, because I don't know if you all know, but Mrs. Sandra Martinho is really a true leader, and she leads a huge I don't even know how to express that, because she's the leader of a lot of projects concerning all the schools in Portugal, all the teachers in Portugal, and all the kids in Portugal. So I don't know how many millions are there, but okay, it's really a big thing.
Okay.
So could you share with us what is your job about? Thank you.
Thank you, Mónica, for this invitation, and for the Planetiers as well for this opportunity. Nice to meet you all, all the colleagues of the panel as well. Well, I feel honored to be here with you with such an experience that you have. I do feel small as well, because what we do in Portugal is actually small considering all the effort that you need to do in India, for instance. Okay. I always found it quite impressive. How can you reach so many people in a country like India, and how do you actually put on a new foundation with all the struggles that we have at this moment, and how can you actually deliver what you just mentioned with another Sandeep? So congratulations for all, and I do feel small at this moment. I'm just a little tiny part of a contribution that we can give with our experience. So in Portugal, we do have, of course, the same challenges that we exist at this moment worldwide. At Microsoft, and education has always been a part of a great investment for Microsoft, okay, regarding software, but as well, the way Microsoft sees education is not only focused on the digital side or on the tools that we developed. For us, our products are tools. That's what they are, okay? And they don't mean anything if people do not have or deploy the right deployed for computers, or develop, that's for persons, develop the right skills to use our tools. So one of our main focus when we're talking about skills is actually to assure that we start preparing ourselves for the unknown. And sooner than we expected, the unknown arrived. And when we talked about working from home, and working and experiencing and sharing experience from companies that are already doing the work from home, like Microsoft, we always have this availability from the company telling us and inviting us to stay at home whenever we could, to develop our tasks and our activity. But the whole world changed. Okay, so the way we actually worked at home, it's completely different than we did it before. So when people say, oh, for you it's easier, no, it's not. We are learning as well. For us, all this new environment is new, okay, because if we were working at home, kids were at school, or the husband was at work, or so it was a completely different environment. So and we did it at a certain point, not all the time, and that's what we keep discussing with teachers as well, and with students. How actually can we help them to be more prepared for this kind of situations? And what technology brings us here is actually that we can put we can put our tools doing things that actually will give us more time to think about this matter. Our focus is, you have been in Microsoft just launched a huge program for 25 million people to develop their skills. Okay, our main pillars are actually how can we use that in technology to help people develop their new skills, to make sure that we focus on a broad set of skills as well. So those skills that can actually rely on the developing on soft skills, like for instance, how to find a new job, how to actually be prepared to the unknown, how can we actually make sure that we build a family structure to ensure that we have the support that we need on every areas of aspects of our lives as well. And in another area, what we ask for schools as well is that they look for them or they look into them as an organization by itself, okay, where they are a team and that then they can support themselves as well as a team. Make sure as well that they lean on partners that they have on their ecosystem, okay? Make sure that they are not alone. This is not something that it's only happening to them, but make sure that they lean on the partners that they have, like on Microsoft. That's what we keep telling them, and we prepared a great amount of webinars for them, supporting them. We have open hours offices so that online, so that if they had any questions, they can actually bring to us all the doubts that they have. And we kept saying that even in August, while they were working and they were submitting their proposals to be a Microsoft Innovative Expert, for instance, we were completely astonished. How is it possible that the teachers in Portugal, after all they have been through, they are still willing in August to apply to be a Microsoft Innovative Educator? So it's I can talk about this without having goosebumps, okay? Because it gets me quite emotional, okay? So it's quite amazing to see all the skills that we already have, and they are hidden, just because we don't push sometimes ourselves to do something different, something actually that is a little bit more disruptive. We don't push ourselves to get out of our comfort zone, because when the time arises and when the situations ask for it, we are there. We do have these capabilities, we do have these competencies. So we should not be afraid of the unknown. We should have the courage to know that wherever it may come, if we support on each other, we are going to succeed. And this is a message that I would like to pass to students, to parents, to teachers, because we saw that as a whole community actually got together to ensure that schools had devices, to ensure that no children was left behind, to assure that teachers had the trainings that they needed. And in Portugal, we do have some Microsoft innovative teachers that actually, in an informal way, got together a Facebook page where they are helping each other all the time, regardless the tool that they are using. It doesn't matter what tool they are using.
Yes, you have a privileged situation to see that in our society. Yes, indeed. So may I now ask Débora to share with us a little bit about her project, and finally, what are the critical skills to push nowadays?
Yes. Hi, thank you so much for the invitation, Mónica, and to Planetiers also to have the opportunity to be in here and actually to be sharing a little bit about the project. So I'm actually the founder of the project AgroGreen Tech, and the project has an importance for the nowadays climate impact and sustainability, since it was created to bring novel tools and technologies to the companies that are in the food supply chain, and bringing this food supply chain in a more sustainable way. So we have process and technologies that enable us to valorize the fruit and vegetable wastes, and we are delivering new ingredients and foods to the market. So we are taking the same amount of foods that are being produced and transform it in 100% of value. So this is the project that I'm responsible for, but actually, and taking into account the theme of this conversation, which is which are the skills that nowadays the generation should have.
Yes,
I can share a little bit.
Yes, if I can interrupt, considering in your own experience, what were the critical skills that you had or you had to gain to, you know, to get to at this point?
Yeah, exactly. So in the past few years until this moment, I was a PhD student of biotechnology. So I was learning about scientific technologies and work lab. At the same time, I decided to create a company. So I had to learn several different skills in order to make this idea go further. So I started to apply to different entrepreneurial and ideation programs throughout Europe, which allowed me to learn several skills, how to actually take a scientific idea until a business. And that it is, I think the most important, it is the proactivity that we need to have actually to overcome difficulties. And as Sandra was saying, we must have the courage to pursue it and go further. Because when you are trying to change something or do something different that you are used to, it's very difficult. So the proactivity and the will to do it and the courage is the most important things that you should have nowadays in order to accomplish and in order to make a difference in this world. And now that I am the founder of the company and I'm looking to grow a team, and I want to gather important people to make my business go further. And I've been studying a little bit what it is important actually for the next generations, and to achieve 2030, I believe that the transdisciplinarity is important as a skill for people that should have, because you cannot only know to do something, you have to have the will to do another things and to actually search for another part. So in my case, okay, I know a lot of scientific base, but I'm actually know now how to do business, how to make financial reports, how to follow trends in the market, how to get clients. So I'm doing a little bit of all now. So I'm doing science, I'm doing market, I'm doing commercial part, I'm doing business. So it's a lot of things. So these different pillars are very important for you. And imagine that my company do not go further. I believe that I will be a great asset for every company that I propose to, because of these different assets that I already have.
Yes, thank you, Débora. And now I would invite Chinenye to speak a little bit about what is her perception about the skills in our days. What would you advise? So.
Thank you, Mónica. I'm happy to be here with this distinguished panel. I've had a lot of what they've said, and it's very impressive. I commend every single person for such good work they are doing. The skill that I would really point to is innovation, because we're in the time of disruption. So I'm a lawyer. I've been practicing for so many years, and one of the things that they keep telling us is that your profession is one of the professions that will be affected by technology, by AI, and you guys are going to be redundant, in the nearest future. So that's one of the things that made me interested and focused on technology law. And it's really very interesting because you find out that there's so many things that you can do easily if you just get used to the system of technology. So being innovative, creating new deals, creating new businesses and models is one of the very important skills that we need now. And also communication, knowing how to communicate in this digital age, knowing how to put across your products, put it out there is very important, because right now, if I have the knowledge and the skills and I know how to do digital marketing, I'm going to go further than someone who has all the experience and the knowledge, but you do not know how to use technology. So that's very important. And I'm a founder of an NGO called Law Assist Network. So what this NGO does is that we have collaborated with other law firms, because what you will have on a normal day is you have law firms coming to provide pro bono, that is free legal services to people. And we just realized that instead of doing it individually, why not create a pool where we can get these other lawyers, these other law firms to come together so that a synergy is created and we now provide these services. So it's easier to bring about solutions. And we have been able to partner with some law firms and taking up some cases. And it's very interesting, and you feel happy when at the end of the day you find out that you have helped certain people who cannot afford legal aid to get something. So we have had issues of people who are not able to properly negotiate a contract, people fighting for custody of their kids from abusive marriages, possession of illegal possession of property. Those are the kind of things that the foundation have worked on and helped people do. I also want to talk about another project I'm involved in, is the Professional Women's Network for Empowerment and Leadership. And what had happened is that there's a global body, and someone came back from Germany and said, see, why don't we create the local body here in Nigeria? And what we did was that we spoke to women, professional women who were dedicated and had the passion to bring about change. And our target was the young women in Nigeria, because the literacy rate in Nigeria is like 54% compared to men, which is 74%. So that already shows you that there's a gap. And there's a ripple effect, you're not empowered financially, you're not able to get good jobs. So what we are focused on is how to empower these young ladies. And we have been having programs over time. And the beautiful thing about it is that we do a follow-up program. And at this follow-up program, you see these young ladies coming to tell us, we are so grateful for the sessions you had, because we learned about, career, we learned about building our self-esteem, we learned about talent, and this is what we have been able to do since we attended the seminars and the grooming program. So we have been doing this for 3 years now, and the beautiful thing about it is how we have all collaborated, women in different spheres, tax, legal, engineering. We've just come in and put in this effort and brought about this change.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now we could have a small period of discussion. So whenever you want to put a question, well, who wants to start?
Can I start, Mónica?
Yes, of course. Yes.
So I would like to ask Sandra from Microsoft, what are the main activities that Microsoft are trying to implement to increase the digital learning skills of the teachers and also the students?
For the question, it's very important and relevant considering the times that we are living at this moment. As I had the opportunity to mention, we actually
we can't hear you so well. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, much better. Thank you. Thank you.
So We had the chance to launch a program that actually brings initiatives to help 25 million people worldwide acquiring the digital skills that we believe that we need in a COVID-19 economy. This will come along with helping people to develop their career paths, for instance, now in the new market, because we will have jobs that will finish and another job that will arise. I keep saying to people, don't forget that in the past years, we didn't have the figure of the DPO, which is the data protection person on each company, which did arise because of the regulation of the privacy of data, and other jobs will come. Okay, so that's one of the things that we actually need to focus on. So Microsoft helps as well to give the tools to make sure that, like through training or LinkedIn or support and consultants, to make sure that everybody has access to a free learning path and content to help people develop the skills that the position that they want to fill requires. As well, we are making available at this moment low-cost certifications and free job-seeking tools to help people develop these skills afterwards to make sure that they can pursue new jobs. We do have as well a significant amount of free training for very different very different areas, and for teachers it's amazing. Okay, we do have training on how to teach with how to develop 21st century skills with students, how to teach with technology, how to introduce digital literacy, about inclusion as well, which is a great concern for Microsoft. It's one of our pillars for the society and for our company as well. So we do have this worldwide motion at this moment that it demands from us as a company and as an individual to contribute to whole the society at this moment through the competences that we believe that everybody needs to develop their great potential. Okay, and that's the marvelous of it. And thank you for the question, Maria Sousa. Can I just make a question to Maria?
Of course. Every question, one question. Okay.
Maria Sousa, you were saying that you've been studying, if I understood right, skilling for the last 20 years. I understood right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you see those skills actually evolving? Because you were saying that they are changing very fast and more fast now than ever, but how can we actually make sure that we are not evolving or that the way we are built and our brain is built as well is going along so rapidly, because it took us millions of years to get where we are now. Now are we making sure that these skills that we are developing actually are at the same time provoking different ways of our brain to work and our brain to develop, and ourselves as a human being as well?
Thank you for your question. So I think that we took long time to develop our competencies in the past because we didn't have access to this massive data. We live in the world of big data, and we have so many information from several outlets like the internet, the YouTube, the TV, so many outlets that during our day, we receive more information than from several years ago we received in 1 month. And we are making some kind of assimilation of that information, and this transforms ourselves as human beings. And of course, also we learn very fast, and we have learned an ability. It is learn how to learn. And we learn from several, we learn from books, we learn from our smartphone when we are just playing some game, or when we are reading some news. So it is a continuous process, and the idea that we have so many knowledge navigating around us, it is a transformational process. And I think we are more flexible. This new world make us more flexible and make us more aware of everything, not only knowledge, but other people, our children, our parents, and we are seeing the world in a different way. I think this last semester was really disruptive in our lives, and also in our competencies and our ways of living and our ways of working. So we are I think we are new persons. We are, I don't know.
Transforming.
Yes, really transforming process.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any other question you would like to put? Okay, Professor Sandeep Singh, yes, please.
Thank you all. Thank you for all your opinion from different persons from different countries. So it's a really interactive session. And I have a couple of questions from Débora and a few questions from the Sandra. So
one question, okay?
Okay, only one question, okay.
Yes,
Then,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Then I would like to ask you, Sandra, as you know, the COVID situation is, you know, very much hampered the education system. You know, going to the school and learning a little bit through this digitalization, like students which is in lower standard, like below 5th class standard, you know, going to schools. So they are not much connected with the technology, right? They are not, you know, access to the mobile or whatever internet connectivity. So I think that generation or that students got more affected during this COVID situation. They do not able to go to school, and even they are the classes are on the online, but they are not grasping the things like in physical presence and the online. So what you think that how this Microsoft you IT expert like you are just trying to compensate this situation in this COVID-19 era?
What we've been trying to do actually is to make sure that when we are talking about
could you please approach the microphone a little bit? Thank you.
What we are trying to assure at this moment is that whenever we think about a virtual session, we make sure that we are aware that a virtual session is not the same thing as a present session. I know it sounds like a truth, you know, common sense, but it's not, okay? So we tend to transport the experience of the physical, because it's the one that we really know and experience, to the virtual one, okay? And what we should do actually is, when we are talking about passing to the virtual, is to make sure that we know that the virtual will allow us to do things that the presential didn't, but on the other hand, it will not, it will restrain us, okay, on using, for instance, our 5 senses. Okay, we will not using every of our sense, which actually it's a part of the whole experience. Okay,
Right.
what we try to do actually is to bring several experiences that help us to be more aware. Okay, because we know that it's completely different being on a computer and existing like on at this moment on this conversation that we are having here, and then we have a notification that just pops out, and then we have the dog that is just there, and then we hear the children in the background, you know, so it's completely different than just being in the work environment or being just in the school. And I keep saying, don't forget that teachers are parents as well, most of them, so they are at home with their families, okay, and they still need to teach. And what we try to do is actually to make the awareness of the environment where they are, okay, and then provide them the tools, because the technology should be there when technology actually adds value. If technology doesn't add value at all, please don't use it, okay? Otherwise, you'll be misusing it, okay? And that's not what we want it for, okay? So we do believe that the 5 senses, and I keep saying this all the time, are the full experience of being a human, okay? So we cannot lose that, okay? So even when we talk about new jobs and that technology will do most of the jobs that we are doing today, I'm an optimist, okay? So I don't fear that, because I do believe that the human sides that we have regarding the 5 senses, there will be no machine to replace that, okay? And all the solidarity that we can have between each other, and all the citizen responsibility that we have, that will not be replaced for anyone, and for any machine. So I do believe that we need to focus on our potential as a human as well, to make sure that we make sure that the machines do what we don't like to do, and it gets us time to think, it gets us time to become better people, it gets us time actually to help each other and to make from this world a better world and happy children. Okay, so I believe this should be our main focus, and as well, making sure that when we are building technology, we know what for. And know actually what the consequences will be. That's something that Microsoft is always worried about.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Thank you so
other
much.
question? Any other question? I think time is running. Please. Okay.
I have one question for Dr. Sandeep. Just
please.
a very brief question. So I'm very impressed with the work you're doing, and I just want to find out, in the years that you've been doing this work, what has been the impact? Like, how long has it been? Is it like 5 years, 2 years, 3 years? And what impact have you seen, tangible impact has come about?
In future?
No, I think it's no.
Now, so how long?
No.
Has this
actually,
this
I was
training of the teenage?
Right. I got question. I was working since last 3 years. So the things is actually not working properly initially. In initial 2 years, I struggled a lot, because I went to different rural area schools, and even the teachers and the headmaster of the school, they are not allowed to go to the interact with the students, because they are they have some fear, like these people are coming from outside, and we don't know them, so how we can interact directly with the small students with them. And even they don't have any such type of previous experiences with the different NGOs or different teachers or faculties members. But slowly, when I used to organize the camps, and media coverage was there, people are seeing that, okay, this NGO is working in this field. So we got, sometimes we got call that please come in my school and teach my students workshop for the students. So slowly we are getting responses from the school students, and especially the students show more interest. Actually, they usually, because I have given them the number of my volunteers and all. So the students have queries, then they immediately call to the volunteer and ask their queries. And they used to ask when again you are coming to organize such workshop, because we are excited to do another session or another experimental things in the I got a positive response from the students. So that's give me motivation that okay, we are working for the students, which is below poverty line, or they are poor, they are not getting any type of facility, and they are really dynamic, and they are really have some potential. So we should explore them, and we should motivate them, to guide them. So, and they are responding even when we, and they are grasping the things which we are trying to inculcate in those students. So that makes our foundation with some positive hope that we are moving in the right direction, and we must produce some good future for India in coming days. So that's what we are working for, and let's see what will happen.
Okay, thank you very much for all your comments and experiences. And I would like now, we are near the end of our conversation, and I would like to ask you to give a message to take home to share with our audience. Okay, if we could stand to the sequence we had till now, I would invite Maria Sousa to give a take-home message, please. 1 minute to each.
1 minute. So my message is, please be open to the change, and try to cope with all the difficulties in a good perspective when possible. I think it is a way to overcome some difficult situations that we are living. But of course, science has a huge effect here. So try to be open and take care.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Maria. Professor Sandeep Singh, would you like to? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that if somebody wants to make change in the society, or somebody wants to make in the education system or anything, then you must come out from the comfort zone, because until unless you will be living in the comfort zone, then you cannot make change even not in yourself. Then if you are not making change in yourself, then how you can make change in the society? So whatever, if you are thinking that you can, this thing is should be taken in the right direction, and this thing we need to do in this direction, then first of all you need to come out from the comfort zone. And in every good cause there must be a struggle. You don't find the things very easily in any field. So you should be ready for a struggle, and you should, that is also good experience. I learned a lot from my struggling period, and that thing now make me happy. And when I was thinking that period when I was struggling, then it feels good and gives me more positive energy to move forward. So that is my message, that come out from a comfort zone and work with full energy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Sandra Martinho, what would you like to share with us? Very special message. We can't hear you. You have the sound. Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. Well, my special message goes to everyone, but at a certain point, especially for parents as well. Okay, I do believe that at this moment we all have several lives inside our life at the same time. So making sure that we are aware of that, okay, the different roles that we need to, or that we keep struggling during the day, okay, and that we keep dropping that and make sure that nothing falls, okay. Be aware of that and actually be conscious about the choices that we make every day when we try to conciliate work with family and vice versa. So Microsoft actually is making a wake-up call to make sure, and giving some tools as well to make sure that we have time to concentrate, that we have time to stop, that we have time to breathe, because breathe is so important, and we are still discovering it, and to make sure that we are more conscious of the effect that we have actually on the society nowadays, and all our actions can actually matter in a different way if we do it consciously. So be mindful, be conscious, and I'm making this message more for parents because we're talking about children and we are doing several things at this moment, at this time, so it's quite demanding, and we need the rest of society to help parents and children as well. So get together wherever you can, and please count on me wherever you need. Okay, I'm on Microsoft. Just have a look on LinkedIn for Sandra Martinho, and we will be very, very, very glad if we can help you. Just reach out wherever it is that you need, and we'll make sure that we'll have a team to support you as well. And thank you for everyone.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Débora Campos. What would be your message to take home?
My message it is to for everyone, for these generations, to be flexible, willing to learn new things and new assets. Also, don't be afraid to challenge yourself and to take risks, and just go through all the paths that might come in your way, and you will for sure be successful.
Okay, now finally, Mrs. Chinenye Oragwu.
Thank you. So my pattern and message would be that people should try to be ahead of the curve by learning, constantly acquiring new skills, knowledge base, collaborating with people who can, give you information that will help you. And also we need to be very reflective. This leads to more strategic thinking. So when we are strategic in what we do, we tend to move ahead, faster. So that would be my pattern message.
Thank you very much. So if you may allow me, I should say that we finish with a magic box of skills, which are adapt. Well, it is basic to adapt. Another skill is, run and don't be afraid of the unknown. Run with the unknown with you. You may get some courage to push yourselves and do something different and go beyond. Another skill like will, courage, proactivity, transdisciplinarity, and finally innovation, because we live times of disruption and we must be very creative with searching for new business models to transform everything we can possibly do. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this session, for this wonderful session. I would add another one, which is do something always in diversity, gathering all the world from every country, from every corner of the world, like Microsoft, for instance. So it is we represent Earth, and if we all together collaborate, we certainly will go further and we will help the others to succeed. Thank you very much again.
Thank you all.
Another opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.